Good morning, everybody. That is an amazing reception, and I would wager it's better than the reception Keir Starmer's going to get the next time he speaks anywhere, frankly. Well, what an extraordinary moment in politics and our national lives this is. Yesterday, the Prime Minister admitted, because he had to, that despite the fact he'd known that Mandelson had continued his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein even after he'd been sent to prison for underage prostitution, despite the fact the Prime Minister knew that, he still appointed Mandelson to be our ambassador in Washington. But don't think this scandal is just another political scandal. It isn't just sort of Partygate, but a bit bigger. No, this involves sex, it involves money, it involves the royal family, it involves the leaking of market-sensitive, confidential information. I suspect it's pretty close, in many ways, to breaching the Official Secrets Act. This is far bigger than the Profumo scandal of 60 years ago. This is the biggest scandal in British politics for over 1 century. And I would predict pretty confidently, I said this yesterday, but I stick by it, I'd predict that Morgan McSweeney, the chief advisor, will be gone pretty quickly. I don't know how long Starmer will last as Prime Minister. Indeed, I'm very worried about it. I want him to stay forever. Well, when I say forever, I mean until May the 7th, when we have the elections in Wales, Scotland, London, and around the rest of the country. That's what I'd like to see. Well, if he does last up until May the 7th, our job, your job, as our candidates, our activists, our supporters, our donors, your job in the run-up to May the 7th is to make sure he isn't there for very much longer after that. And Wales, of course, in Wales, the Labour Party were already in dire trouble. I can't even imagine what some of the last loyal Labour voters must be thinking in the wake of these misjudgments and this scandal. And it is all the more remarkable because, of course, South Wales really is the birthplace of the Labour Party. From Keir Hardie in Merthyr Tydfil through the Nye Bevans, the Michael Foots, the Neil Kinnocks, many of the great names of the Labour Party have been South Walians. And most of these constituencies have been taken for granted pretty much since 1918. But something fundamental has changed. And now I think for Labour it will get even worse. And that gives us incredible opportunities. The Tories are nowhere in Wales in this contest leading up to May the 7th. And frankly, as soon as there's a big political scandal, and this is a mega political scandal, people don't think, oh, well, that's okay, because the Tories were whiter than white. No one thinks that of them. So the opportunity for something fresh and something new has never, ever been greater. And that's the role that Plaid are trying to fill. Plaid are trying to say, number one, we're not the Labour Party. Well, that bit's true. Although in policy terms, you'll notice they've kept the government in Cardiff propped up many, many times over the course of the last miserable 26 years for Wales. They've even had their policy advisors deep inside the Welsh government. So we can't let Plaid get away with saying they're the party of change. They are not the party of change. They're the party of continuity. They're the party of continued failure in Wales, whether it's health, education, or some of the loony policies, such as the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, which I can promise you will be disappearing if and when we win these elections on the 7th of May. Now, there's so much else to talk about, but for us to succeed, there are 4 key ingredients. The first is we need the right candidates and the right leadership. The second is we need the right policies and the right manifesto for Wales. Don't worry, getting rid of the 20-mile-an-hour limit will be in it, I'll insist. But so much else to talk about in terms of farming, in terms of health, in terms of education, and in terms of the bloated, expanded quangocracy who seem to run most of Wales these days. So that's second thing we've got to get right. We've got to get the policy formation, we've got to get the means of selling it out to people in ways that are understandable and communicable. The third thing we have to do is to raise money, because you need ammunition to fight these big battles. And the fourth thing we need is to be lucky with our enemies. And I think right at the moment, we're very, very lucky with our enemies. And I can tell you today, on the national fundraising front, we will very soon see the declarations for Q4 of 2025, and that will show a very big uptick in the sheer number of people starting to give us serious money, and lots of people giving us money at smaller levels too. And I think when the Q1 figures come out, people will be surprised. So we're lucky with our opponents. We're raising the money to have the ammunition. We will be doing a full manifesto launch within the first 2 weeks of March, where we'll lay out the manifesto with which we'll fight the Senate elections. But today is about people. Now, it'll be another couple of weeks before we unveil the lists for the 16 super constituencies. But I want to introduce today 2 people who are new to the party, who I believe will add a great amount, and I'm keen for you to meet. The first is a 34-year-old sheep farmer. You've guessed who he is, haven't you? He's a 34-year-old sheep farmer who was elected to the Senate as a Conservative. And 2 weeks ago, they were on defection watch, which, given what's been happening around the country, is perhaps not all that surprising. And he was called in and asked, "Are you leaving us to join Reform?" He just honestly said, "Look, I've had a conversation with him, and they booted him out." Well, today, we're going to welcome James Evans into our party. We're going to welcome him in to stand as a candidate. And before I bring him on stage, have a look at this short video.
After 26 years of Wales being let down by the same failing political parties, Wales now needs fundamental reform. Growing up in rural Wales, you feel like you've won the lottery, really. It's an amazing part of the world, the community's unbelievable, and the friends you get stay with you for life. And I think the old parties have let rural Wales down for far too long. Labour, Plaid Cymru, the Liberal Democrats and the Conservatives played its part in breaking the whole of the United Kingdom. Farmers and rural communities are not the problem. It's the crazy policies and ideology coming out from Cardiff Bay. Food security matters and rural community matters. Rural Wales needs a government that works with us, not one that lectures us, and Reform will always stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of rural Wales. We need to change Wales. We need to get people in the Welsh Parliament who understand their communities, who understand that things in Wales cannot carry on as they are. And the only way we can do that is making sure that Wales has a Reform government after May the 7th. Wales is broken and Wales needs reform.
James